Hey guys, well, it's been a minute since we've done anything in the garage, so I wanted to show off the lift and actually talk about it just a little bit. I know I haven't really shown any of the finished stuff in the garage yet, but down here we installed the 4-post lift not too long ago. So this is an Advantage 11,000 pound lift. Did a lot of research, looked at bend packs and challengers and pretty much everything that's out in the market. And what I needed was a lift that could support the SuperDuty, but I also wanted one that could park underneath it. And this is a Tremor, so it's just slightly higher than a normal SuperDuty. And what I found is all these lifts, the extra tall ones, unless you get the one that's like super tall and has a 7,000 pound lift capacity, you won't be able to find another lift other than this one that you could make go as high, unless you do some modifications. So all of these lifts pretty much have an 82-inch clearance underneath. And if you look, I barely have any clearance in there. And as my truck sits, I want to say it's 83.5 inches. If you put a level across the top of those little housings above the sunroof. So I had to do a couple things to this lift in order to make it functionable for this use, right? So in order to get the extra height, they did two things. Advantage sells these heavy-duty rubber pads that are like super dense. I mean, they don't compress or anything like that. And they're typically just used to put underneath the post so it doesn't mar your floor. I just doubled those. That gave me, it looks to be, I think it is almost a full inch. So those are about a ½ inch each. And then a good friend of mine who runs a manufacturing shop, he actually created some adapter. Actually, darn, it's really hard to see on that one, but basically created a spacer to go inside and get this to lift all the way up. So the challenge is Advantage sells a little piece that goes in. Actually, I'm going to pause and get it for you. So Advantage sells basically what you see right here. It's just adds an extra inch, and it goes and it slides inside, it slides inside the post here, and it's supposed to give you an extra inch of lift. I guess it's designed for, a ceiling that has a lot less clearance than I do, but not enough to get the full last click in there on the top. So they give you this thing, but it doesn't actually work on the very top slot. And I learned that the hard way, and I guess there was some fine print I didn't see. So the next thing I did is I had my buddy just weld on an extension here, like you can see, so that it would essentially just go under here. But I realized all the weight was resting on this little tab, which wasn't going to do it. I can't trust that little piece of metal to hold everything. So I went back to him and asked. It actually drafted up a couple different designs, but mocked up a piece of steel that goes inside there and gives me a full extra 1.25 inches. So between the pads down here and that little piece up there, I got a solid extension. And as you can see, I got just enough clearance to park this is a stock Tremor underneath. So it sits, like I said, at 83.5 inches. So in order to release these, zoom out just a hair. Just lift up on the lift slightly. And essentially, I got a piece of steel, a channel, with that notch cut out so that it sits and rests right on that spring. So it does two things. It slides right in the hole, catches that. Darn it, I've got to go to the other side again. All right, here, that's a little bit better. So basically, it catches on the spring here. It won't slide down. I had these little these steel tethers for something else, I think for pins out of the lawnmower, so that I wouldn't lose some of those pins for the deck. But just drilled a little hole in the back, and then I got a set of these magnets from Amazon, so I can just stick these on the side when I'm ready to lower. So just do that on all 4 corners. Pull these out, stick them on the side, and then I can lower it down as usual. But in order to get that extra 1.25 inch clearance, you just Put that underneath. Again, it can't go anywhere. It's just on this tether, and it catches on that that little spring there, so I can just lift it right back up. So these little pieces are pretty much obsolete. They're going to sit until I might need them for some other scrap. But again, once you got them all in, just give it a little release. It sits right down, and that's it. So this is pretty much the only way I know that you can fit a full-size SuperDuty, specifically a Tremor, that's any truck that's 83.5 inches. This is probably going to be your best bet. I did all the research. Again, been packing all of them. You can probably make some sort of spacer as well that might work and give you an extra bit of height. But I just didn't like the design. Actually, the people at Advantage were super awesome, helpful, and I'm really impressed with the way this lift was put together. And it only took a couple hours to put together by myself. So anyhow, if you got any questions, just post them. I'd be happy to share, give you some close-ups of what I did, and happy to link you up with my buddy if you happen to have one of these lifts and you want to get some of these pieces of these spacers made for you. Anyhow, he powder coated them and everything. So thanks again. Thanks, Jeff. See y'all. Oh yeah, one thing really quick. This obviously isn't like the only residential lift that you can buy to fit a big truck underneath, right? But this seemed to be the best option, mainly because of the height already, the usability, but it's wide. It's much wider than the bend pack, and I think it's like 115 inches inside post to post. I don't know, specs are online, but it's really easy to drive in and out of, especially in my garage. I only have one door, so it's important to be able to have plenty of room to navigate between the posts and not have to worry about it. This is the it's the SS 11000 WD lift, and it's movable as well. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go with the 2-post lift. You can put those casters on the bottom and in the feet. And I was actually able to move this off to the side the other day, and we brought in a big old pontoon boat and worked on the engine. Here it was like 30-something feet. But you couldn't do that if you had a fixed 2-post lift. So anyhow, if you're looking for a lift big enough to put your SuperDuty on it or underneath it, I highly recommend this Advantage, and you should get yourself a lift because they're pretty freaking awesome. See ya.